Learning English may seem difficult at first, but don't be discouraged. Everyone starts at the beginning, and the key is to stay consistent. Even dedicating just a few minutes every day to practice can lead to progress. Start with simple words and phrases that you can use in daily life. This will help you build a foundation for more complex language skills later. Remember, the more you practice, the easier it becomes. At first, it might feel like you're not making any progress, but trust the process. Language learning takes time, so be patient with yourself. Focus on small achievements, like learning a new word every day or understanding a sentence. Celebrate those little wins, and you'll feel more motivated to continue. It's all about consistency, not perfection. Small steps lead to big results over time. A great way to improve is by practicing listening skills. Try watching shows or listening to podcasts in English. Even if you don't understand everything, just hearing the language helps your brain get used to it. Repetition is crucial, so listen to the same content multiple times. Over time, you'll start to pick up words and phrases you didn't notice before. This helps improve your comprehension and speaking skills. Another important step is to practice speaking. Don't worry about making mistakes. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn. Try speaking to yourself in English or finding a language partner. Speaking regularly helps you build confidence and fluency. Even if you only practice for a few minutes a day, it's still valuable. The key is to be consistent and to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Finally, remember that learning English is a journey. It might be hard at times, but don't give up. The most important thing is to keep going even when it feels challenging. Surround yourself with English as much as you can and practice in real-life situations. With patience, time, and effort, you will improve. Stay motivated and enjoy the process of learning. Chapter 2: Building Vocabulary. Building your vocabulary is one of the most important steps in learning English. The more words you know, the better you can understand and communicate. Start by learning basic words and phrases that are commonly used. Flashcards are a great tool for memorizing new words and phrases. You can also use apps that focus on vocabulary building. These methods help you remember words and reinforce them over time. Another effective way to learn vocabulary is by reading. Start with simple books, articles, or websites in English. As you read, underline words that are new to you. Look them up in a dictionary and try to use them in sentences. Repetition is key to remembering new words. By reading regularly, you expose yourself to new vocabulary and context, making it easier to remember. Using new vocabulary in conversations is a great way to practice. Don't be afraid to make mistakes when speaking. It's part of the learning process. You can try speaking with friends, language partners, or even by talking to yourself. The more you use the words you learn, the easier it will be to remember them. This also helps you understand how the words are used in different contexts. Another method for expanding vocabulary is to focus on synonyms. Learn different ways to express the same idea using different words. For example, instead of always saying happy, you can also use words like joyful or content. This makes your language richer and more varied. The goal is to be able to use a variety of words to express yourself in different situations. Lastly, try to make vocabulary learning fun. You can play word games, do crossword puzzles, or use apps that turn vocabulary practice into a game. When learning is enjoyable, it becomes easier to stick with it. Stay curious and keep discovering new words every day. With practice, your vocabulary will grow and your English will improve significantly. Chapter 3: Listening and Speaking. Listening is one of the most important skills to develop when learning a new language. The more you listen to English, the easier it will be to understand and speak it. Start by listening to podcasts, music, or watching movies and TV shows in English. Don't worry if you don't catch every word. The goal is to get used to the sound of the language. With time, you'll begin to understand more. One helpful tip is to listen actively. This means focusing on what you're hearing and trying to understand the meaning behind the words. You can pause and rewind parts of the audio to practice. You can also repeat what you hear to improve your pronunciation. Listening helps your brain absorb the rhythm, accent, and vocabulary of the language. Speaking is just as important as listening. Even if you're shy, it's crucial to practice speaking English. You can start by talking to yourself or repeating phrases you hear in podcasts or videos. It's also helpful to find a language partner or join a conversation group. The more you speak, the more confident you'll become. Mistakes are normal, and they help you improve. Practice makes perfect when it comes to pronunciation. Focus on sounds that are difficult for you, and try to mimic native speakers. You can also record yourself speaking and listen for areas where you can improve. Don't be afraid of your accent. Everyone has one. The important thing is to be clear and understood. Speaking regularly will help you improve over time. In addition to listening and speaking, it's useful to focus on intonation and rhythm. Native speakers don't just say words. They stress certain syllables and use rising or falling tones. This adds meaning and emotion to the language. Pay attention to how English sounds and try to mimic it. With practice, you'll sound more natural when you speak. Chapter 4: Grammar and Structure. Grammar is the foundation of any language, and English is no different. Understanding basic grammar rules helps you construct sentences correctly. Start with simple concepts like subject-verb agreement and sentence structure. Once you're comfortable with the basics, you can move on to more complex grammar topics like tenses and conditionals. The key is to build your knowledge step by step. Practice is essential when it comes to grammar. You can use worksheets, online exercises, or language apps to practice grammar rules. While learning grammar may feel difficult, remember that repetition is the key to mastery. The more you practice, the more you'll understand the patterns of the language. Don't worry about making mistakes. Correcting them helps you learn. One of the most challenging aspects of English grammar is the use of tenses. English has different tenses for actions in the past, present, and future. Start by focusing on the most common tenses, like the present simple and past simple. Once you've mastered these, you can move on to more complex tenses. Consistent practice with real-life examples will help you understand them better. Learning grammar in context is a great way to internalize the rules. Instead of memorizing dry rules, try to read books or watch videos in English. Pay attention to how grammar is used in real sentences. When you see grammar rules in action, they become easier to remember. You can also write your own sentences and check them for grammatical accuracy. Lastly, don't be afraid to ask for help when you're stuck. You can ask a teacher, a language partner, or even use online resources. Grammar might seem confusing at first, but with regular practice and patience, you'll improve. Focus on making progress, not perfection, and you'll eventually get better at it. Chapter 5: Immersion and Practice. The best way to learn English is to immerse yourself in the language. Surround yourself with English as much as possible, whether it's by reading, watching, or listening. By constantly exposing yourself to English, you begin to think in the language naturally. Try to practice daily, even if it's just for a short time. Consistent exposure helps reinforce what you've learned. You can also practice English with native speakers or language partners. Speaking with others helps you become more comfortable and confident. Don't worry if you make mistakes. Every conversation is an opportunity to learn. The more you practice, the more fluent you will become. Look for language exchange partners or join conversation groups online or in person. Incorporating English into your daily routine makes learning feel more natural. For example, you can label items in your home with their English names. Listening to English music or watching movies with subtitles can also be helpful. The more you surround yourself with the language, the more you'll pick up. Immersion helps you develop language skills faster. Another great tip is to set real-life goals. Try to read a book in English, watch a movie without subtitles, or have a conversation with a native speaker. These goals motivate you to continue learning. They also help you measure your progress so you can see how much you've improved over time. It's important to challenge yourself, but don't be too hard on yourself. Finally, remember that learning English is a journey, not a race. Be patient and enjoy the process. With constant practice and immersion, your skills will improve. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Each one is a step forward. Stay motivated, and soon you'll find yourself speaking English more easily and confidently. Chapter 6: Reading and Comprehension. Reading is a great way to improve your English skills. It helps you learn new vocabulary and see grammar rules in context. Start with simple books, articles, or blogs that match your level. As you read, underline unfamiliar words and look them up in a dictionary. Over time, you'll notice your reading comprehension improving, making it easier to understand more complex texts. Reading also helps you understand sentence structures better. One of the best ways to improve reading comprehension is to read aloud. This helps you with pronunciation and helps you internalize grammar. You can also read short stories and summarize them in your own words. This helps ensure you understand the material and retain it longer. The key is to read regularly and enjoy the process. Don't stress if you don't understand everything at first. When reading, try to read for meaning rather than focusing on every single word. It's more important to understand the main idea of a text than to know every vocabulary word. You can always look up words you don't understand, but try to keep the flow of the reading going. This helps build reading fluency. If you come across a difficult section, reread it to reinforce your understanding. Books and articles aren't the only things you can read. You can read news websites, social media posts, or even comments on YouTube. This exposes you to different types of writing and vocabulary. You can also read children's books or simplified novels if you're just starting. These types of books use basic language and are easy to understand while still being engaging. Finally, be patient with yourself as you read. Some texts may be challenging, but that's a part of the learning process. Set small reading goals for yourself, like reading one article a day. Over time, you'll notice how much your reading skills improve. Keep going, and soon you'll be able to read more complex materials without much effort. Chapter 7: Writing Skills. Writing is an essential skill in learning English. It helps you practice grammar, spelling, and sentence structure. Start by writing short sentences or even a daily journal in English. This will allow you to put into practice the new vocabulary and grammar rules you've learned. Writing daily, even if it's just a few sentences, makes a huge difference over time. It's important to write regularly to improve. Another great way to improve writing skills is by writing essays or short stories. These exercises help you organize your thoughts and improve your sentence structure. After writing, review your work and check for errors. You can also use tools like grammar checkers to help identify mistakes. The more you write, the better your writing will become. Writing gives you a chance to practice everything you've learned. When writing, focus on clarity and organization. Start with a clear introduction, followed by supporting details, and finish with a conclusion. This structure helps your writing flow smoothly. You can also use transition words like first, next, and finally to connect ideas. Practice writing different types of texts, such as emails, essays, or social media posts. Each type helps you develop different writing skills. Writing with others can also help you improve. Find a language partner and exchange writings, then give each other feedback. This allows you to see mistakes you might have missed. Critiquing each other's work helps both people learn. Don't be afraid to ask for help when needed. The more you engage with others in writing, the more you will improve. Finally, remember that writing takes time to perfect. Don't rush through it. Take your time to think about your sentences and structure. Over time, you'll develop a unique writing style and your English will improve. Writing is one of the best ways to solidify everything you've learned. Keep writing and you'll see improvement. Chapter 8: Staying Motivated. Staying motivated is one of the biggest challenges in learning English. At times, it can feel like you're not making progress, but persistence is key. To stay motivated, set realistic and specific goals for yourself. For example, aim to learn 5 new words each day or practice speaking for 10 minutes daily. This gives you clear targets to focus on and helps you track progress. Remember, small improvements lead to big results over time. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it may seem. Learning a language is a long journey, and each step forward is an accomplishment. Take time to appreciate how far you've come. You can also reward yourself when you reach a milestone, such as completing a language course or reading a book in English. This helps keep you motivated and makes the process more enjoyable. It's also helpful to find a community of learners. Join online forums or groups where people share their experiences and challenges. This creates a sense of accountability and support. When you see others progressing, it can inspire you to keep going. You can also ask questions or share tips with other learners. Being part of a group helps make learning more fun and social. Another great way to stay motivated is by immersing yourself in things you enjoy. Watch movies, listen to music, or read books in English about topics that interest you. This keeps learning enjoyable and less of a chore. When you're learning about something you love, it doesn't feel like work. You'll be more excited to continue practicing and improving your skills. Finally, be kind to yourself. There will be times when progress feels slow or when you hit a plateau. That's normal. Be patient and trust the process. Learning a language takes time, and setbacks are part of the journey. Stay positive and keep going. Motivation will come from within when you focus on your passion for learning. Chapter 9. Using technology to learn. Technology has made learning English easier and more accessible than ever. There are countless apps, websites, and tools that can help you improve your skills. For example, language learning apps like Duolingo or Memrise make learning fun and interactive. These apps use gamification to keep you engaged and motivated. They offer practice in vocabulary, grammar, listening, and speaking. Another great tool is online dictionaries such as Cambridge or Merriam-Webster. These provide not only definitions, but also examples of how words are used in sentences. Many of these dictionaries also include audio, so you can hear how words are pronounced. This is a great way to improve your vocabulary and pronunciation. Technology allows you to learn at your own pace, making it easier to fit into your schedule. Online courses and video lessons are also useful for learning English. Websites like Coursera, edX, or YouTube offer free or paid courses designed by experts. These courses often include videos, exercises, and quizzes to help reinforce what you've learned. You can choose courses that focus on specific skills, such as speaking or writing. This way, you can tailor your learning experience to your personal goals. Social media can also be a great resource for learning. Follow English teachers, language learners, or educational pages on platforms like Instagram or TikTok. Many of these pages post short lessons, vocabulary tips, or fun challenges to practice your skills. Engaging with social media content in English can be a fun way to learn and stay motivated. You can also join language exchange groups on apps like HelloTalk or Tandem. Finally, use technology to practice your speaking skills. Tools like Google Translate and speech recognition apps allow you to practice pronunciation and fluency. You can record yourself speaking and compare it with native speakers. These tools help you become more confident when speaking English and allow you to practice anytime, anywhere. Technology makes it easier to immerse yourself in English and improve faster. Chapter 10. Reflecting on your progress. As you continue learning English, it's important to reflect on your progress. Look back at where you started and see how far you've come. Celebrate your achievements, no matter how small. Perhaps you can now hold a conversation, understand a movie without subtitles, or write an essay in English. These are all signs of progress, and they should motivate you to keep going. It's also useful to evaluate areas where you still need improvement. Are there certain grammar points that you struggle with? Do you find speaking difficult? Identifying areas for improvement allows you to focus your efforts. You can use resources like grammar books or conversation practice groups to target these weaknesses. Regular reflection ensures you stay on track and continue improving. Set new goals to keep yourself motivated. Once you reach one milestone, set another. Whether it's reading a book in English, passing a language test, or having a conversation with a native speaker, setting clear goals gives you direction. Break down larger goals into smaller, achievable steps. This makes the process feel more manageable and rewarding. Keep pushing yourself to improve, and you'll reach even greater heights. As you continue learning, remember that language learning is a lifelong journey. Even native speakers continue to learn new words and phrases. Stay curious and open to learning. Don't be afraid to explore new areas of the language, such as slang, idioms, or regional accents. The more you expose yourself to different aspects of English, the richer your understanding will be. Finally, be proud of how much you've achieved. Learning a language is no easy task, but you've made it this far. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and enjoy the process. You're not just learning a language. You're opening doors to new experiences, cultures, and opportunities. With determination and hard work, you'll continue to improve and become fluent in English. Chapter 11: Overcoming Challenges. Learning English is not always easy, and you will face challenges along the way. It's normal to feel frustrated at times, especially when progress seems slow. However, remember that these challenges are part of the process. When you struggle with grammar, pronunciation, or vocabulary, see it as an opportunity to grow. Be patient with yourself and keep practicing even when things feel difficult. The more you push through, the stronger your skills will become. One of the biggest challenges learners face is the fear of making mistakes. It's natural to feel embarrassed, but making mistakes is essential for improvement. Don't be afraid to speak, even if you think you're making errors. Native speakers understand that language learners are still learning. They will appreciate your effort and willingness to communicate. Mistakes are simply stepping stones to mastery. Another common challenge is staying motivated when progress feels slow. It's important to acknowledge that language learning is a long-term commitment. Sometimes it may seem like you're not moving forward, but remember that every bit of practice counts. Set small goals and celebrate each milestone, no matter how small. This will keep you motivated and focused on your journey. To overcome these challenges, seek support from others. Join study groups, find a language partner, or participate in online communities. Surrounding yourself with others who are also learning will provide encouragement and inspiration. Learning together with others can make the process more enjoyable. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Lastly, keep a positive mindset. Approach every challenge as an opportunity to improve. Focus on your progress, not your mistakes, and celebrate each step forward. Stay resilient, keep practicing, and your skills will continue to grow. The journey may be tough at times, but the rewards of learning English will be worth it. Chapter 12: Expanding Your Knowledge. To truly master English, you need to go beyond the basics. Once you feel comfortable with simple conversations and grammar rules, it's time to explore more advanced aspects of the language. Start by reading more complex books, articles, or academic papers. These will introduce you to a broader range of vocabulary and sentence structures. Challenge yourself with materials that are just slightly above your current level. Another way to expand your knowledge is by studying idioms and phrasal verbs. These expressions are common in everyday English, but can be difficult to understand at first. Idioms like kick the bucket or a piece of cake don't make sense literally, but they are important for understanding native speakers. Phrasal verbs like give up or look after are also crucial for fluency. Make a list of new expressions and try to use them in your conversations. Listening to more advanced content is also a great way to expand your knowledge. Watch TED Talks, documentaries, or interviews in English. These sources often contain a wide range of vocabulary and complex sentence structures. While it may be challenging at first, the more you listen, the better your understanding will become. Take notes on new words and phrases, and try to incorporate them into your own speaking and writing. If you want to improve your academic English, consider studying grammar in more depth. There are advanced grammar books and online courses that can help you refine your knowledge. Topics like conditionals, reported speech, and passive voice are essential for more formal writing and speaking. Deepening your understanding of grammar will help you express yourself more precisely and clearly. Finally, try to engage in English conversations on a variety of topics. The more diverse your conversations, the more vocabulary and knowledge you'll gain. Whether it's talking about science, art, or current events, discussing different subjects will help you learn new words and improve your speaking fluency. Keep challenging yourself, and you'll continue to grow as an English speaker. Chapter 13, Cultural Immersion. Language learning isn't just about memorizing words and grammar. It's also about understanding the culture behind the language. One of the best ways to learn English is by immersing yourself in English-speaking cultures. This could mean traveling to an English-speaking country or participating in cultural activities online. By understanding cultural nuances, you'll be able to use the language more naturally and effectively. Watching movies, TV shows, and documentaries in English helps you understand cultural references and humor. Each culture has its own way of speaking, and understanding these differences will make your conversations more authentic. Pay attention to how people interact in movies or shows. For example, in American English, people often use humor to make a point, while in British English, the humor may be more subtle. Learning these differences makes you sound more like a native speaker. Participating in cultural events can also improve your language skills. Attend English language theater performances, exhibitions, or even cooking classes in English. These activities give you the chance to practice speaking and listening in a social setting. They also provide an opportunity to learn more about the culture. Engaging in these activities will help you see how the language is used in real-life situations. Another important aspect of cultural immersion is understanding the values and traditions of English-speaking countries. For instance, understanding the importance of politeness in British culture or the informal nature of American English helps you know when to use formal or casual language. These subtle cultural differences affect the way language is used. By learning about these aspects, you'll become a more effective communicator in English. Finally, try to build relationships with native speakers. Whether through online language exchanges or by connecting with people in person, talking with native speakers allows you to learn more about their culture and language. Engaging in real conversations will give you insight into the language that books and lessons can't provide. The more you understand the culture, the easier it will be to use English in everyday situations. Chapter 14: Advanced Pronunciation Tips. As you improve your English skills, one area to focus on is pronunciation. Mastering pronunciation will help you sound more natural when speaking. Start by practicing individual sounds that are challenging for you. English has sounds that don't exist in many other languages, so they might be difficult at first. For example, the TH sound in words like think or this can be tricky. Focus on producing these sounds clearly. Intonation is another important aspect of pronunciation. English speakers use rising and falling intonation to express meaning and emotion. Pay attention to how native speakers stress certain words and sentences. For example, in a question like, "Are you coming?" the tone rises at the end. Understanding these patterns will help you sound more fluent and natural. To practice, try shadowing native speakers. This means listening to a short clip of audio and repeating what you hear at the same time. Focus on mimicking the speaker's tone, rhythm, and pronunciation. It's a great way to improve your speaking skills. You can also record yourself speaking and listen for areas where you need improvement. Hearing yourself helps you identify pronunciation mistakes and work on correcting them. Learning connected speech is also essential for advanced pronunciation. In natural speech, words are often linked together. For example, "What do you think?" may sound like "What do you think?" Understanding and practicing connected speech will make your English sound more natural and fluent. Listen carefully to how words flow together and practice repeating these patterns. Finally, don't be afraid to ask for feedback. Native speakers or teachers can give you valuable tips on your pronunciation. They can point out sounds or patterns you might be missing. Regular practice and feedback will help you improve your pronunciation and make you sound more like a native speaker. Chapter 15: Using English in Real Life. The ultimate goal of learning English is to use it in real life. Once you have the basic skills, it's time to put them into practice. Try to use English in your daily life as much as possible. This could mean ordering food in English, asking for directions, or making small talk with someone. The more you practice in real situations, the more comfortable you will become. Start by participating in English-speaking communities, either online or in person. Join discussion forums, attend events, or find clubs where people speak English. This gives you the opportunity to use the language in a social setting. You'll also gain confidence as you interact with others who are fluent in English. It's a great way to practice listening and speaking skills. Another way to use English in real life is through travel. If you're able to visit an English-speaking country, immerse yourself in the language and culture. Even simple tasks, like asking for help or ordering a meal, will help you practice. Travel gives you the chance to practice English in real-world situations, helping you feel more comfortable with the language. If traveling isn't possible, try using technology to connect with native speakers. Apps like Tandem or HelloTalk allow you to chat with people from different countries. You can practice speaking, writing, or even sending voice messages. Speaking with native speakers regularly helps you improve your skills and exposes you to new vocabulary and phrases. Finally, Don't forget to use English in your career. Many businesses around the world use English as their working language. Whether you're writing emails, attending meetings, or giving presentations, using English at work helps you develop your skills and gain experience. The more you use English in real life, the better you will become. Keep practicing and applying what you've learned.